Malala, My Story of Standing Up for Girls' Rights, by winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, Malala Yousafzai. Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai's best-selling memoir, now adapted for younger readers. Before Malala was an internationally known activist, she was simply a young girl who stood up for what she believed in. When girls in her once peaceful area of Pakistan were told they couldn't go to school, Malala risked her life for the right to be educated. Discover the remarkable true story of a young girl who refused to be silenced. In her own words, Malala shares the value of speaking out against hate and offers an inspiring message of determination and hope. Malala, My Story is Standing Up for Girls' Rights, by Malala Yousafzai with Patricia McCormack. Abridged and adapted by Sarah J. Robbins, with illustrations by Joni Stone. To those children all over the world who have no access to education, to those teachers who bravely continue teaching, and to anyone who has fought for their basic human rights and education. Contents. Prologue. I am Malala. When I close my eyes, I can see my bedroom. The bed is unmade because I've rushed out for school late for an exam. On my desk, my school schedule is open to the page dated 9th of October 2012. I can hear the neighbourhood kids playing in the alley behind our home. I can hear my little brothers fighting over the TV remote. I can smell rice cooking as my mother works in the kitchen. Then I hear my father's deep voice calling out my nickname. Johnny, he says, which is Persian for dear one. I left my beloved home in Pakistan that morning, planning to dive back into bed when I returned home, and ended up a world away. When I open my eyes, I am in my new bedroom. It is in a sturdy brick house in a damp and chilly place called Birmingham, England. Here there is hardly a sound, no children laughing and yelling, no women downstairs chopping vegetables and gossiping with my mother. Through the thick walls between us, I hear someone in my family crying for home. Then my father bursts through the front door, his voice booming. Johnny, he says, but there is worry in his voice, as if he fears I won't be there to reply. That is because it was not so long ago that somebody tried to hurt me, simply because I was speaking out about my right to go to school. That day, in October 2012, was an ordinary day. I was 15, in year 10, and I had overslept because I'd stayed up far too late the night before studying for my exam. My mother gently shook my shoulder. Wake up, Bisho, she said, calling me kitten in Pashto, the language spoken by my family's tribe, the Pashtun. It's 7:30 and you're late for school. I said a quick prayer to God. If it is your will, Allah, may I please come in first on the exam. Oh, and thank you for all my success so far. I gulped down my breakfast while my youngest brother, Atal, whined. I was getting too much extra attention for speaking publicly about girls and boys having the same right to go to school, he complained. When Malala is Prime Minister someday, you can be her secretary, joked my father. No, cried Atal, the little clown in the family. She will be my secretary. I raced out the door and down the lane just in time to see the school bus crammed with other girls on their way to school. I never saw my home again. That afternoon, my classmates and I stared down at our tests, trying to think over the honking horns and the factory noises of our hometown of Mingora. By the end of the day, I was tired but happy. I knew I had done well. I asked my best friend Maniba to wait with me for the late bus so we could talk longer. We told jokes and laughed until we stepped into the Dina, the open-backed white truck that was our Kushal school bus. As usual, our bus driver, Usman Baijan, had a magic trick to show us. That day, he made a pebble disappear. No matter how hard we tried, we couldn't figure out his secret. 19 girls, 2 teachers, and I bounced along Haji Baba Road, a mix of brightly coloured rickshaws, women in flowing robes, men on scooters, honking and zigzagging through the traffic. Our bus had no windows, just a yellowed plastic sheet that flapped against the side. We were not more than 3 minutes from my house when the truck stopped suddenly. It was oddly quiet outside. "It's so calm today," I said to Muniba. "Where are all the people?" I don't remember anything after that. Here's the story that's been told to me. Two young men in white robes stepped in front of our truck. One of them jumped onto the back and leaned under the plastic sheet. "Who is Malala?" he asked. No one said a word, but a few girls looked in my direction. The man raised his arm and pointed at me. Some of the girls screamed and I squeezed Muniba's hand. Who is Malala? I am Malala, and this is my story. Pronunciation Guide. A timeline of Malala's life. About the authors. Malala Yousafzai started her campaign for girls' education at the age of 10, when the Swat Valley was being attacked by terrorists and education was threatened. Using the pen name Gul Makai, she wrote about life under the Taliban for BBC Urdu. Malala also volunteered to be featured in a New York Times documentary about education in Pakistan. She used every opportunity to speak publicly for peace and every child's right to an education. In October 2012, Malala was targeted by the Taliban and shot while returning home from school. She survived and continues her campaign for education. In 2011, in recognition of her courage and advocacy, Malala was nominated for the International Children's Peace Prize and won Pakistan's first National Youth Peace Prize. She is the youngest person ever to be awarded a Nobel Peace Prize and has received numerous other awards, including the International Children's Peace Prize 2013, the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought, and the Amnesty International Ambassador of Conscience Award. Malala now attends University of Oxford in England and continues to champion universal access to education through Malala Fund, malala.org, a non-profit organisation that invests in community-led programs and supports education advocates around the world. Patricia McCormack is a two-time National Book Award finalist and author of several critically acclaimed novels for young adults, including Cut, Sold, and Never Fall Down. For more information, go to patriciamccormack.com.